large crowd quickly gathered to protest what they thought was an enforcement on undocumented immigrants.
This is the first attempt at misdirection. Now, what Bill Keller of Fox9 News is going to attempt to do is disenfranchise the ire of an entire community of people who showed up in the presence of ICE on Lake in Bloomington a week ago. And you see, for this portion, yes, people showed up because ICE was there, but what Bill is leaving out is people also showed up because over 6 brands of cops showed up with 2 Bearcats on a city street armed like they were cosplaying as Call of Duty Lost in the Scary City edition.
Now, a woman who was arrested protesting that day is shedding new light on what agents were really looking for. 27-year-old Isabel Lopez has been indicted on 4 counts, including obstructing, impeding, resisting, and assaulting officers.
If the fire department shows up, one would assume there's a fire. If ICE shows up, one would assume they're there to do ICE things. Bill Keller is removing the context that law enforcement in Minneapolis can mean they're going to unalive someone, seeing they have a history of that already. And people in Minneapolis know that if they don't intervene, cops may unalive somebody. This brigade of law enforcement was also in a community of color, dressed like they're auditioning for a Catherine Bigelow movie and not telling anybody why they're there. The raid was sloppy, the quality of cop is past the expiration date, so community responds to cops because of what the cops have represented in the past for Minneapolis. Bill Keller is at a C+ right now on reporting where he's happily listed off alleged activities of Isabella, yet entirely says nothing about what the cops did. He shows a pic of her being assaulted, but not the video of Isabella being assaulted.
And what Lopez and others thought was an ICE raid was actually part of a criminal investigation, one that yielded 900 pounds of methamphetamine. Multiple federal agencies executed search warrants at a number of locations.
Number of locations where Bill hasn't told you where they found the drugs, which was in a storage unit in Burnsville. Fox 9 is still showing you Minneapolis, where none of this was found, and shows a protester getting arrested, making it look like that person is in charge of the money laundering. Here's a great question for you to ask. Did the cops pull up to Burnsville the way they crashed in on Lake in Bloomington? No. They didn't, Bill. Bill, you're at a D- right now.
Officials say they recovered 900 pounds of meth from a Burnsville storage shed worth $22 to $25 million. Agents also seized gold-plated guns and portraits of Al Pacino's character from the movie Scarface.
Hey, at least he mentioned Burnsville. However, Bill has now successfully pulled off some of the worst reporting I've ever seen since Wolf Blitzer said,
"All of them that we see are so poor and they are so black."
if you raided any dorm building in the United States of America, you'd find over approximately 5,000 Scarface posters. And if you raided the home of any cop in the United States, you'd probably find at least 9 gold-plated firearms. And if you raided a storage unit in Burnsville, you'd find over 900 pounds of drugs. But when you pull up to Lake in Bloomington, you will find people that have no trust in the police, respond out of a deep historical understanding of what the cops represent, and will actually take a stand against the dictator doling out orders to his pawns. From what I saw, the raid was unnecessarily over-militarized, did not need 2 Bearcats, seemed intentional in provoking a community of color to defend themselves, and Bill Keller receives an F for this abysmal reporting that, in my opinion, is racist and anti-immigrant propaganda. Also, Bill, I gotta tell you, this reporting strangely makes it seem like Isabella was somehow linked to the reason military and cops were there. But I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think in the comments below.